Let's jump right in. If you're looking to start a white label brokerage, you're stepping into one of the most crowded markets on the planet. But you know, the biggest hurdle you're going to face? It's probably not what you think it is. It's this fundamental trap that almost everyone falls into.
And there you have it. That's it. This is the single biggest reason they don't make it. From the outside looking in, one new broker looks, well, almost identical to the next. I mean, they're all built on the same foundation, using the exact same tech and offering the exact same services.
And this is the question that really gets to the heart of it, right? If you can't offer anything that looks or feels any different from the dozen other options a potential client just scrolled past, why on earth would they risk their money with you, an unknown name? The hard truth is, they probably won't.
So let's really dig into this clone broker problem. Let's talk about what it actually looks like in the real world. Because this isn't just a vague idea, it's a very real thing that your potential clients and partners are seeing every single day.
Okay, picture this. A potential trader lands on your website. They sign up, and the very first thing they see is a dashboard that looks, familiar. Actually, it looks exactly like the dashboard from the last 3 brokers they checked out. And that feeling of, hey, I've seen this before, that's not a good thing. For them, it's a red flag.
So then they go check out your pricing. The spreads, the leverage, the commissions, it all fits into this incredibly tight, standardized little box. You might think you can compete on having a slightly better price. But the reality is, to the customer, everyone's price is basically the same.
And finally, we get to the features. Again, they're identical. From the client's point of view, there's no unique tool, no special edge, nothing that makes you pop. You're not a unique solution to their problem. You're just another option in this huge sea of sameness.
Now here's where it gets really interesting, because this sameness creates this massive domino effect. It all comes down to a trust problem. First, traders are just naturally wary of a brand they've never heard of. It makes sense. Second, introducing brokers. The people who could bring you tons of clients, they're not going to risk their own reputation on some generic, replaceable broker. And this is a big one. Payment service providers. The companies you need to handle your money. They look at you and see a high-risk, low-reward clone, not a business with potential. Your growth gets choked off before it even has a chance to start.
And this is really the brutal takeaway from all of this. It's so crucial. When you just blend into the background, you make it incredibly easy for the market to ignore you, to forget you, and, well, to replace you with the next clone that comes along.
So, if the product itself is basically standardized everywhere you look, how in the world do you solve this? This brings us to probably the most important mental shift you can possibly make. It's all about reframing the entire problem.
Let's be really clear about this. Your white label platform is probably perfectly fine. It's a solid product. The failure isn't in the technology. The failure is in how you are positioned in the market. It's all about how people see you before they ever even log in. This right here, this is the new rule of the game. In a market that is totally saturated with identical products, the brand that wins isn't the one with the slightly better product. It's the one with the strongest, most trustworthy perception. It's not about being the best, it's about being perceived as the best choice. And this just nails the point home, doesn't it? A trader's first move isn't to open up a spreadsheet and compare feature checklists. No way. Their first move is to Google your name. They're looking for signs that you're legitimate, that you have some authority, that you can be trusted. And if they find nothing, they're gone. On to the next one.
Okay, so we get it. The goal is to build this perception of trust, but how? How do you actually do that? Well, the good news is it's not just guesswork. There's a clear, actionable system you can follow to turn an invisible clone into a brand people actually trust.
So let's walk through this, because each step really builds on the last one. It all starts with number 1, visibility. You simply need to show up where people are looking, in the media, on key platforms, in search results. Just be seen. Once you're seen, you move to number 2, authority. This is where people start to recognize you as an expert. That leads to number 3, differentiation. This is the magic part, where being visible and having authority finally makes you stand out as a distinct brand, not just another broker. From there, you get to number 4, trust. All this activity makes you look established, even if you just launched yesterday. And that makes new clients way more comfortable. And finally, number 5, inbound growth. With trust locked in, the whole game flips. Traders, partners, even payment providers start coming to you.
So if you boil it all down, you get this simple formula. It shows you the logical path. Every step is necessary for the next one. You can't just jump to growth without first building trust.
And you can't build that trust without first establishing some authority and just being visible. It's a whole system.
So when you think about it, there are two very clear paths you can go down as a new broker. Let's put them side by side and see just how different the results really are.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you've got the clone broker. They offer the same thing as everyone else, which makes them invisible, and ultimately, they just get ignored by the market. But on the other side, you've got the PR-driven brand. They focus on being seen. That leads to them being recognized as a legit player, and that recognition means they get chosen over the competition.
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this simple binary choice. Is everything you're doing helping you blend in with the thousands of other brokers out there? Or is it making you stand out?
So where does this all lead? What's the ultimate payoff for focusing on your brand and your perception instead of just tweaking the product?
And this is the real secret. The most successful brokers out there today, they aren't necessarily the ones with some slightly better piece of tech. Nope. They are masters of perception. They figured out a long time ago that the real battle is won or lost in the mind of the customer.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Every single decision you make, from your marketing to your operations, is either pushing you towards becoming another forgettable clone, or it's building you into a brand that commands attention and, most importantly, trust. The choice is yours.